Hi everyone and welcome to another video. I'm Alex from English Owls, a community of teachers who are truly committed to helping their students use English in an effective way in everyday life. If you are a teacher who has a lot of experience teaching young adults or young students, you may be wondering how you can help your adult learners be more engaged. Well, welcome to this video. This is the video that will give you 5 tips to help your adult learners become more engaged in your lessons. Tip number 1 to help your adult learners be more engaged in your lessons is kind of self-explanatory. Know your learners. Use needs analysis, use communicative activities where students get to give their opinions or talk about themselves, so personalized tasks in which you can actually indirectly find some information to help you plan your lessons. Knowing your learners means helping them better. Find out obviously where they're from, whether they have a family, if they like pets, if they prefer certain activities in their spare time. All these pieces of information will come together in a massive puzzle when you plan your lessons, and students will definitely be thankful when it comes to engagement. The second thing that will help you make your lessons for adult learners more engaging is to make your students feel comfortable. Nowadays, most of us are still teaching online, and if you're teaching face-to-face, there is this extra aspect of wearing a mask, not being able to do so many mingle activities and get students to be together in groups as closely as before the pandemic. So these things contribute to a lack of comfort, a lack of feeling at ease in the lesson. So you need to make an effort to help your students be more comfortable. So whether you start with an engaging warmer or with a song that relaxes the students, or if you just, make a little joke at the beginning of the lesson, or simply, just talk directly to students and ask them how they are at the beginning of every single lesson, these little things will make your students feel more comfortable. Seeing you struggle with technology, for example, can contribute to increasing their level of comfort. They will discover that you are not perfect and realize that if they make a mistake or they forget to unmute themselves on Zoom, for example, it's not a big deal. The teacher does it as well. And I think humor is one of the best ways to make your students feel comfortable. I'm not talking about inappropriate jokes. Obviously, don't make jokes about their accents or, sensitive aspects of their lives. But it's always nice. For me, for example, I love self-deprecating humor, and I find students respond really well to that. It's not because you want to look bad in front of your students. No, it's because you want to make them feel comfortable. You want them to feel that they are talking to a human being rather than a teacher robot. Okay, sorry. I didn't really mean to do that. The third tip that will help you make your lessons for adult learners more engaging is to include relevant topics. Obviously, your course books will have common topics that will help the students at a certain level to become better with certain items of vocabulary or grammar. However, these are not always very interesting for most students. So your job as a teacher would be, first of all, finding out what students would be interested in, and secondly, finding authentic material or creating the material that seems to be doing the best job when it comes to helping students. So when students see that you're interested in what they want to learn, and you actually do the research and come up with topics and lessons that are catered for their needs, they will be more engaged and they will be very, very responsive and grateful for your efforts. The fourth way to make your learners, especially adult learners, more engaged in your lessons is to actually correct their mistakes, but in a more sensitive way. You can always do a little bit of research and find out how do students want to be corrected. When do they want to be corrected? Maybe some people want to be corrected all the time. Maybe some of them feel very uncomfortable when their mistakes are pointed out in front of the class. So find various ways to correct mistakes in a more sensitive way. Students will be more engaged in the lesson because they feel that you are actually helping them when and where it's needed, and at the same time they will feel more comfortable. We're coming to the end of the list, so we're talking now about the fifth way to make your adult learners more engaged in your lessons, and this is by encouraging communication at all times in your lesson. Sometimes a lesson may feel really teacher-centered for the duration of your presentation or clarification of language. And this is not necessarily bad, but it makes the lesson feel a little bit disjointed. So what you want is to have a balance between input, feedback, and obviously communication between your students. So get your students talking at all times, not just in your lead-in, not just when you nominate them for feedback or when you want them to check answers in pairs. Find ways, techniques, and activities that encourage communication. Engagement comes from communication. When students are stimulated, when they are curious to find out what happens next in a reading, for example, when the materials that are shown to them are really well presented, all these little things will help. But the most important moment when students are really engaged is when they are using the language that you were teaching. So do not underestimate the power of communicative activities when it comes to high levels of engagement. All right, everyone, so here we are, the 5 things that you can do to make your lessons catered for adult learners more engaging. So I'm just going to recap them really quickly. Number 1, know your learners. Number 2, make them feel comfortable in your lessons. Number 3, choose relevant topics, especially for reading and listening, relevant for that particular group of students, obviously. Then find sensitive ways to correct mistakes. And the last tip, encourage speaking activities at all times throughout the lesson, not just at the end of the lesson for 5 minutes. Please make communication and production using the language a priority in your lessons. Okay, everyone, so thank you so much for watching this video. I want to welcome again all the new subscribers that have decided to join us on here. We're very happy to have you here, and we hope that you enjoy these videos. If you do, please remember to hit the thumbs up button if you like these videos, and do not forget to share them with your colleagues. And also, we would like to find out what you think about these videos and what other topics you'd like us to talk about in future videos, and the only way to do that is by commenting below. So if you also want to follow us on social media, on our Instagram page, and please do not forget that we have a lovely website where we post articles on a variety of topics, and also a Facebook group where you can learn how to be a more confident online teacher. Thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.